Hello and welcome to the Death Battle Cast. Hey, I'm Ben, voice of Wiz in the Death Battle Show. I'm joined by Chad, of course, voice of
Hello.
Boomstick. What's up, Chad?
Yo.
With that wonderful little bubble transition or whatever that was to you.
Yeah. Trying to get rid of this cough that has lingered for like 3 weeks
You
as
gave
of
it to me,
tomorrow.
bro.
Way too
Gave it to
long.
me.
Yeah.
I'm sick.
wanted to go away.
You have transferred it over the internet to Liam.
I
Like
wish it
Carnage.
was like a curse that I could just like give it away. I'd happily give it to Liam for a little bit so I could go voice. I'm just kidding.
I gotta shave.
You
It's a
shaved
little
again.
fuzzy down here. No, I haven't shaved. I need to shave. Hey, I'm Liam. I was gonna make a joke about continuing the conversation we were having before cast, but then it transitioned. It just didn't work out. So
No, Ben
Fix
won
it.
it. Ben won it with that one.
Either way, and we've also got Sam here.
Yeah.
Hello, Sam.
Have y'all ever watched Downloaded? I think that's the name of the show. It was like an Amazon Prime thing about like digital afterlife and stuff.
Oh,
Anyways,
shit.
one of the characters' dad is dying of vape lung, and that's what I assume Chad has now. It's like he's got the vape lung, like he's
Oh
just gonna die.
no! Oh no!
There it is.
You know.
Yep, it's finally caught up to you, Chad. All the vaping.
Luckily, the years of smoking, the decade of smoking actual cigarettes, has left me unaffected. I'm fine.
it's always those lifetime smokers that are like completely fine. They don't even know what cancer means. They're like, yeah. But if you get like a one whiff, it's like you're fucked. Instant lung collapse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay then.
I mean,
Serious
honestly,
topic. Let's go, Liam.
the reason I don't currently smoke anymore, I genuinely think is because old man smoker cough is so gross and terrible,
It's bad,
and I just
yeah.
don't want to be
Mm.
somebody who's like always coughing.
Cool if you're like in a movie though. You'd be like cough, 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 and this is the story of the old iron mill. Don't go up there.
Yeah, like a once
Oh,
in
you
a
mean if
while
you're
cough
actually
is
in a movie,
different
not
than,
like
If you're,
right
yeah,
here.
if you're like a character in a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, so just become a fictional character, Sam. You'll be good.
I'm well on my way. Don't worry.
How do they know? How do they know we're not?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You know?
true. Yeah,
What if we're
you don't know
playing
if my real name
characters?
is Ben.
You don't know if my real name's Liam.
If it's not, you've really held down the
this shit.
long con.
Yeah. Kept the character
it was a
going.
fake name even back in high school for me. I've been going on for a while. Well, all right. Well, welcome to the Death Battle Cast, everybody. Love to see all the members in chat. I just saw a little notification. Grant, he's a member for 12 months, which means he got the
Yo!
year-long badge, the gold badge. It's
Woo,
awesome.
holy-
Love seeing those year-long badges. Really cool, and thank you for all the support members. We have a bit of a different episode for you guys today. Not too different, but different enough that it's worth calling out. So, as you know, typically we do these community death battles where we just have fun debating some stupid matchup here on Death Battle Cast. Today, we're adding an extra caveat to our debate. So we will be doing Mario versus Link. Liam will be repping Mario. I will be repping Link. The way this usually goes is we debate for basically the whole show, and then by the end of it, it's our job to convince the jury who should win. The jury consists of 3 seats. That'll be Chad, Sam, and you all watching this live right now. We do this show live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Be sure to tune in if you're watching the VOD. But this time, Liam and I will have to argue Link versus Mario versus Link, with equalized stats. Something we have kind of talked about a little bit in previous episodes, but never actually done. I don't think we've ever done this. Which kind of means we're gonna sort of figure this out as we go, I think.
That's some fun.
Liam, what do you think equalized stats should mean? What kind of rules should be
I think
here?
it just means that. I mean, it has to be taken case by case, right? Like everything does. But I think that in general, it just means that your strength, your speed, and your durability, the energy that you can output in an attack, the energy that you can tank in an attack, and the speed at which you can move and react and operate generally just are equivalent. Now, obviously, if you character like the Flash, that's going to change things, right? But
yeah,
in general, that's just the idea. Those aren't
so
going to play
this kind of stipulation would not work for every matchup. Like,
No.
it would be kind of weird to put a Flash
Yeah.
into a battle and be like equalize stats, unless I guess it
It's
was
like-
against another speedster maybe.
Yeah.
Nah,
yeah.
dude, Flash,
But-
no Speed Force. There we go. I love that. Like,
Barry
Flash
Allen
versus
with a fucking
Batman
Glock.
equal stats. Who actually, that's kind of interesting.
right? See, yeah.
Batman.
It is a little
Batman,
interesting.
I mean, Batman for sure.
Does he keep his hacks? Because if he keeps his
Yeah,
hacks,
because
then
he'd still
Batman
need all
is
his powers, right?
fucked.
But they're just equal stats. So
Yeah, but all of his
I don't
powers
know.
are just
That's a different matchup. We can talk about that some other time. So we are doing equal stats with Mario versus Link, which means the weapons, armor, and skills are actually going to be more important than ever because these guys have so many power-ups, so many tools, so many skills and whatnot that we're going to be discussing here today to find out which set of skills, which set of power-ups, which set of gear is going to get one of them to cross the finish line as the winner of this battle. So,
Hey, Ben, real quick before you go on. Okay, well, first of all, he just dropped 20 subs, but today is
Whoa,
Kage's
holy-
birthday. And he
my
dropped
God.
20
Happy
subs for
birthday.
us. Backwards,
Oh.
man. We're
Oh.
supposed to music
There you
now.
go.
Happy birthday, Kage. Thank you so much for the 20 subs.
love it.
What does
Love it.
that
Well,
sound?
That is
That
might
sounds
be
like a- that
me.
sounds like-
I'm going to mute for a
A
little bit
fan?
as Liam, you
sounds like
you talk about Mario for
Carter's.
60 seconds. Go.
Mario
My
just completely overwhelms Link with I haven't started. That's Chad. That's not me.
Hi.
Mario. Liam. Yeah, Chad, go.
I-
Oh, there we go. Mario is just completely overwhelms Link with his arsenal. Link is known for his arsenal, but Mario's is just simply better, and he has a lot of ways, especially of what's the word I'm looking for? Breaking the normal rules that you would expect of this sort of like having an arsenal. Stuff like the bottomless gloves, the retry clocks, the invincibility stars. A lot of that in combination with each other is just going to be impossible for Link to really get around. And in terms of the more general stuff, they match each other pretty well. You know, they have elemental stuff. They both go giant. So a lot of their normal arsenals are relatively evenly matched, but Mario's more broken stuff and his Toon Force and his martial arts skills and a lot of his other minor abilities really give him a major leg up.
So,
Ugh,
All right.
interesting question. Like,
it was just so...
does he get Toon Force if they're like equalized stats? Like,
So Toon
That-
Force has nothing to do with stats. It's just like with Mario's, it's not super intense, but like Mario gets squished and he'll turn and like flat into a pancake and he'll be fine.
But that
that's
does
a power.
translate to durability.
right.
And so we are equalizing at least base speed.
You can say
strength,
that-
durability.
You can say that if they were hit with the same attack that measure like the same punch, right? They would both and one of them tanks it, the other one tanks it as well. But if Link's body is crushed flat as a pancake, he's dead. He's just dead.
Sure.
Mario wouldn't be. That's the difference.
Okay. I'm gonna
But that
leave a
seems
poll.
like it's not equal then. Like,
Is Plastic
does-
Man's ability stats, right? Like is that a durability thing? It helps your durability, but it's a superpower. It's not it has nothing to do with the energy you're taking. It has to
But
do with how
that's
your
not
body
to
reacts
say
it.
though that a blow that would knock Mario into a pancake would do the same to Link then, just because like his body does kind of play by some different physics.
If
doesn't
we're
mean-
actually if you were to take on the equalized stats, then it actually would because Mario's regular durability
Yeah,
isn't
but
enough to
you're
kind
talking about this happens when a swamp lands on Mario. He is like a little pancake man.
it happens there. He actually takes damage when that happens in 64,
Mm-hmm.
but in Partners in Time, he's crushed by it's a bro attack where Luigi like hits him with a hammer,
Yeah,
and squashes him, kicks him, and he doesn't take any damage.
there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, I
But-
put a
Ben's
poll
got a
up in the
poll.
chat. Should Toon Force remain as is? I do agree that there is an element of hacks to it, but it is related to durability. And so if Toon Force is going to be included, the durability is equalized, which means basically the way I'm seeing it is, yeah, sure, he can have Toon Force, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be able to survive everything because he still doesn't have the durability aspect is equalized.
yeah,
the hacks
that's-
might be
that's-
there, but
that's-
the durability is
true.
not.
Yeah.
So,
I only meant like
In
I
this
was only
case,
talking
sure,
about,
he can be flattened, but since his durability is now equalized with Link's, Link could kill him in that way. You know what I mean?
Being squashed
Depending on
doesn't
the
hurt
situation.
him. Yeah, But like, that wouldn't necessarily kill him. But Link can still kill him, right? Like, I don't think just being squashed. It's just like if Link had a big hammer and squashed him flat, that wouldn't kill him. But if Link like took out
Cut
a
him in
hydrogen
half.
bomb, cut him in
Okay,
half.
so as a defensive, you could think of it as like
Yeah.
part of his armor. Or
His
whatever,
body is rubbery.
His force.
His body
Sure.
is
Somebody in the
rubber
chat
body. I can
mentioned
see
it's
that.
kind of like regeneration, right? Like,
yeah, it's similar to
Yeah,
that.
okay. If we treat it that way, I think this could kind of work.
Yeah.
Okay.
sorry, I didn't try and derail. I just needed that answer.
No, that's a good point. That's
No,
a
it's
good
a good
point because I actually think we might have missed this. We should establish that equal stats does not mean that those stats can't go up. Like if they have strength boosting gear, that gear still boosts their strength. It's not like where that's suddenly nullified. They just basically start at equal
Now
stats.
he's as strong as Mario is, but he's got the gauntlets, and so he's even stronger. Or
I mean,
close.
it could technically work,
Yeah.
yes, but I believe Mario has plenty of options in that regard as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me go ahead and get started on Link while this poll kind of wraps up. So Link coming into this fight, I think a lot of people look at Mario versus Link, regardless of whether or not it's stat equalized, and think, oh well, Mario is going to win because he's got a billion different power-ups to do a billion different things. And while that's true, he's got all that. Link, I think, is very easy to underestimate. There are so many Zelda games that people just haven't really dived into, and so many like rare items and whatnot that are unbelievably broken. He has some incredible weaponry, gear, and armor that can basically survive or even redirect anything Mario is going to be able to throw at him. And let alone the masks, like just the masks from Majora's Mask by themselves are going to give Mario a really hard time. And so I think when you dive really deep into what Link's got in those pockets, there's some crazy shit that he's going to pull out and turn this fight completely around.
I like how you were fishing for like that.
Yeah.
2000 word essay.
Fierce Deity Mask is going to be real interesting.
Fierce Deity Mask is obviously a really good one. We can go ahead and just start with that. Like, it just boosts all of his power. Talking about boosting power, it just boosts all of his power to an obscene degree, to a godly level, right? Able to just take down Majora very easily. I think it would be kind of hard for Mario to survive or even keep up with Majora.
It's an interesting.
Not only does it have like massive sword with like tons of range and power, it shoots a laser like a circular laser every time it swings. Does that home in? I can't remember if it homes in. It was just so easy to beat Majora. I didn't have time.
Yeah, I believe it's homing.
Okay, yeah, it's ridiculous. You just can literally just swing, and then the final boss dies. Like,
So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, I hadn't thought of it actually. So obviously, I think a big counter to that is the Starman, the Rainbow Star, and the White Tanuki suit, which make Mario invincible
Temporarily.
So, the White Tanuki suit makes him the entire level, but two, temporarily. I was going to save this for a little bit later, but I guess we could start now because it is kind of a core like main argument for why I think Mario wins. Makes him temporarily. What if he just uses another one? Well, of course he'll run out at some point, right?
He does have a limited
arsenal,
pocket
right?
space in.
He has this item called the bottomless gloves. What the bottomless gloves do, when he's wearing them, he can use an item without it taking any of his inventory. So the number does not go down. It gives him infinite uses of any of the items that he has.
So he's going to have an infinite number of any item, or just one item that's associated with the bottomless glove?
Any item.
Okay.
Any item from his inventory.
So there's no limit to items. Right. Interesting.
Now,
all right.
Now you might say, never mind. I got ahead of myself. Yeah.
Also, Gelatin Man dropped 20 subs. What's up, Gelatin Man?
And, oh my God. Thank you, Gelatin Man.
Yeah, that's amazing. Going crazy. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and wrap up this poll here. It's kind of been sitting there for a while.
It's been there for a while. He's just waiting until it shifts to say no to for us.
We kind of already answered it before we even come on, guys. No. Yeah. And of course, because this is something we've never really done before, I'm looking at the chat to see how you guys sort of interpret certain power-ups and whether or not they should be included and whatnot, or how they should be included. So feel free to let us know what you think about all of this. Because bottomless gloves, what game is that from?
That's from Super Mario RPG. I
Okay.
think. Or one of the Mario and Luigi games. One of the RPGs.
Yeah, Gilbert Thayer is
Yeah,
asking
it must
as
be
well.
one of those. Super Mario RPG doesn't have powers in that sense where that would be a thing.
It has like, yeah, it has items and stuff like that. Plenty of stuff.
Yeah, no, you get like Starman and stuff, and you can it's like quickly grind, but like the
But it's one of your gear
To-
pieces. Like you can do like glove gear. There's different
I
the
have-
glove that gives different
Does
stats.
it work
yeah.
with a star? Do you use it with stars at any point in that game?
It works with any item that you have. There's no distinguishing thing between.
Yeah, but what
like,
are
a
the
star.
items in that game that work with it?
Well, it's not limited to. It wouldn't be limited to the items in that game. It's just whatever items he has.
I
There's no
feel
reason it
like
would be limited to just those.
in if we can take a quick sojourn down derailment alley here, I feel like there
As we
should
usually
be
do.
Yeah.
a thing where as the people not debating, so Chad and us today as judges, where if there's one thing we feel particularly strange about, we can like we can call for proof and like you better have some fucking quick proof or else we throw that out. Because right
What?
now, I would like some proof, Liam.
You want proof of the
So I'm not
bottomless
saying you're
gloves?
wrong or anything. It's just so strange, and I haven't heard of this. And you saying it's from Super Mario RPG, from my recollection, I'm
Jesus
like, I don't
Christ.
like.
Maybe
Maybe
it's-
yeah, if it's from one of the Mario Luigi like
I
game,
apologize.
sure,
It's
yeah.
from Dream Team and Paper Jam.
Dream Team and
Mario
Paper
and
Jam.
Luigi,
Okay.
Dream Team and Paper Jam.
They have appeared in multiple games.
Yes.
Which is
But-
interesting.
Isn't
Oh, and let's see, what items do you
isn't
have?
Paper Mario like fundamentally different than Mario, even though they both are Mario?
It is true.
They are different characters.
And that would
It's
Paper
not a
Mario
Paper-
much like
it's not a
Paper
Paper
Mario
Mario item.
can
It's
be
not a Paper
squished
Mario
flat. Yeah, duh. He's two dimensional. Like
Paper Mario isn't the one that squished flat. It was
Right,
it
no,
was
it's a
regular
different
Mario.
okay,
and
but
Luigi
still,
Mario.
I think
Well, no,
I think taking
and
stuff
Dream
from
Team.
Paper Mario is like
Okay.
isn't
We're
gonna
not
work
taking
here.
anything from Paper Mario. Stop. No, we're taking stuff from Mario and Luigi, which is items that Mario and Luigi
Paper
have,
Jam,
Yeah.
was it though?
which is where they cross over.
Yes.
Also,
Yeah,
the first
it's-
Paper Mario does take place in the regular Mario universe. It references stuff that is in the regular.
okay,
it's
it's
a
the
either
Mario crossover.
It does originally stem from Mario and Luigi Dream Team. So it is in a standard, not standard Mario game, but the canon Mario, I guess.
Yeah.
And is it an item full Mario uses, or is
Yes.
it used by?
It is used by
Paper
full
Mario.
Mario. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
By non-paper, by
Um,
Flesh Mario. As
yes.
he
Flesh
goes by.
Mario.
Yes.
Oh,
Flesh
something I
Mario.
never wanted to
Gross.
hear. Mike, thanks for the 5 gifted subs, dude.
Awesome. Okay. So, well, let's talk about just the variety of power-ups here.
Yes.
Because I think that's we can talk about invincibility stars and whatnot, but both
Yeah.
of them have ways to be invincible. So at some point, those invincibilities have to drop to allow somebody to win.
How's
right?
Link invincible?
So what are they going to be using?
How does Link
How's
get
Link
invincible?
invincible?
Yeah.
There's a little something called the magic armor, which absorbs all damage.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what it is, absorbs all damage.
Okay.
There are 2 different versions. Actually, there's 4 different versions of it. But there's 2 main versions, or really 3 main versions. There's an armor, an actual armor.
Yeah.
Not really using that one. That one's actually the worst version. The one that I think is going to be most important here is the one from Wind Waker, which it's basically a spell. It's the same thing as Nehru's Love, which could also be included in this. Nehru's Love essentially makes Link invincible as well. Nehru's Love
Briefly.
and Magic Armor creates a magical armor around Link that blocks all damage for depending on which version you're using, a limited amount of time or a limited number of rupees.
That's
so
right. I was like, he's not
Nehru's
invincible
Love
for
and
everything.
Magic Armor version 1
Yeah.
are both based on Link's magic meter.
Gotcha.
And Magic Armor
Yeah, yeah,
number
yeah.
2, not the armor one, but the
Yeah.
HD one, is based on rupees.
Yeah.
So both of them make him invincible, or all 3 of those make him invincible. There's a couple ways he can keep them up for basically an indefinite amount of time. So the rupee one,
Literally an indefinite?
I mean, the
Powered
largest
by
rupee
capitalism.
bag.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So the rupee one, basically, anytime he's hit, it
Yeah.
subtracts rupees. And I did take a look at it. It looks like the maximum amount he's ever lost in a hit would be when Ganon, or like an equally powerful enemy,
Yeah.
hits him. The most amount he loses is 80. I believe that's what I found.
Oh, dude, you can carry thousands. Like,
yes. So the biggest wallet that now in Wind Waker, the largest wallet you can get is a 5,000 rupee wallet. The largest wallet Link's ever carried can carry up to 1,000,000 rupees.
Yeah.
Is that
So for
Skyward
bringing
Sword?
everything, no, it's Breath of the Wild. So for bringing everything from every game, he can carry up to 1,000,000 rupees, which would mean he could be hit even if he was being hit by the most powerful fucking things in the world, like Ganon equivalent. He would be able to survive, regardless of what it is, 12,500 hits. He could just walk through it.
Right. Which is a finite number as opposed
which
to
is
the
a finite
bottomless
number,
gloves.
yes. But
So
then
Mario
he has
can
the other
definitely-
version.
Mhm, go on.
But then he has the other version of the magic armor, which relies on this magic meter. And this is the combo that I saw a lot of people talking about. There's a milk you can get in Majora's Mask, which gives you infinite magic for all 3 days in Majora's Mask. So
It is so ridiculous.
theoretically, it might go beyond the 3 days. It just so happens that you reset time every 3 days. But the basic idea is that you have magic permanently for 3 days. If you
That's
drink
good
this.
milk.
Yeah, real good milk. Also, it is adult only milk. So
It's adult only milk at the milk bar. Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if it's actually milk. But Chateau Romani is what it's called. I think we even mentioned this in our Link versus Cloud episode. So if he downs that, then combines it with this version of the magic armor, it lasts forever.
Well, it lasts 3 days.
3 days, or he can just go get some more, and then
Mario's
Yeah,
fighting
the other
him.
thing,
I
like,
don't-
not only does it give you infinite magic, it also full heals you. So you could have like one heart left, drink this thing, fully heals all of your hearts, fully fills all of your magic, and then gives you infinite magic for the 3 days or infinity. I don't know.
I'd love to point out, just first of all, I think that's fine. I want to point out that just a few minutes ago, we were arguing the not using items in combination from different games. Just want to point that out. I think it's fine. You do too, because we're going to be bringing that back.
I was trying to see if there was any sort of limitations to the gloves.
Yeah.
In terms of like what they could use.
And Sam just thought you were lying.
Saying that these two could actually, because my thought would be like, can the gloves fit like stars or whatever? Is there any reason why they wouldn't be able to have them?
Yeah. That's a fair question.
Whereas this would not necessarily have that sort of. There's no reason why these wouldn't overlap if you did throw a composite like Link together, which should be reasonable, because also while Mario is, again, like not using Paper Mario because he's a different Mario, every Link is different, right? Technically not, because every Link is the same Link reincarnated through the spirit of the hero, which is speculative. This is speculative, but I assume this is the reason why every Link can just pick up a sword and just be a fucking master at it. Like, it's the only real explanation I can find for why he's able to use all this stuff. So I think it's reasonable. Also, it would just be kind of lame to be like all of Mario's power-ups versus one Link's power-ups.
Well,
like, that's not fun.
That's and no one says that. Sam, you are like, you have like, are you on the sun? Are you like
Yeah,
a space station?
no, it's because I was Googling to try and check up on these, and it's just this monitor.
It's good Lord, the brightness on that monitor.
Yeah, well,
don't worry, Sam.
I don't got peasant monitors over here. What do you mean?
Hey, you don't have. Hey, you don't
fuck
have
with
to
my
turn
lumens.
down the brightness on our monitor. All you got to do is throw on a pair of Shady Rays, because
pretty
this episode is sponsored by Shady Rays. Mine are not with me right now because I use them constantly. One pair is in our family car, which my wife has taken out because her son has a dentist appointment, and my other pair was stolen by my friends because they like them so much. So take on the sun with gear built to last. The good folks at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers world-class products that are just as good as any expensive pair I know. Plus, every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair of sunglasses, even on day one, they'll send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. I need to ask if friends stealing them counts as lost. I guess technically I know where they are. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. If you don't love them, exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Also, every purchase supports the Shady Rays Impact Program, which works directly with nonprofits in their communities to empower and make make adventure available for all walks of life. From childhood cancer patients to young adults with serious health conditions, Shady Rays is making a lasting impact. I love my sunglasses. There's tons of different kinds you can choose from. You will absolutely find something that you will enjoy. So please go check them out. So just for you, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code DBC for 50% off of 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Thank you, Shady Rays. I love these sunglasses. I want them to keep sponsoring the show. Come on, summer's happening, guys. Get some sunglasses, and this is the ones you should buy. Go to Shady Rays. Use our code DBC at checkout.
They are legitimately good, and it's very very easy and safe to buy them. If you don't like them, you can send them back. Easy enough. Yep. Real quick, I did want to call out. I saw a lot of people in the chat mentioning, but Toon Link is actually not the same Link, so his magic armor wouldn't apply. That's a fan theory. In reality, just because of Toon Link and also because he gets the Triforce a little bit differently. The Link in Wind Waker is still the spirit of the hero reincarnated. They literally call him that, actually. They literally say he's the hero of time reborn in the game.
Link.
He's still Link.
He just has a different design.
Lee and I are giggling by the comic blasts of light that are hitting Sam whenever he changes attack.
I also want to bring up another
Trying to find out more about this bottomless glove, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. So Link's invincibility is limited by time. Mario's isn't. But even if that were not the case,
well, Mario's is. It's going to drop at some point, and then he's got to re-up it.
Well, the white Tanuki suit does not drop.
I have a question.
It ends at some point.
I have a question. You know how when you
right?
hit enemies in Breath of the Wild with electricity, they drop what they're holding?
Yeah. That's true.
That's true.
That happens to
That
Link
is true.
too.
Yeah, it does happen to Link too.
Well, okay. I hear your point. Mario gets hit in between, in the brief span of time between Starmans, if Link can handle that consistently. He gets a hit on Mario, cuts Mario in half. Mario's blood and guts are everywhere. He's like, oh, fuck, I'm fucking dying. Oh, mamma mia.
Sounds exactly
this is exactly how it would happen. Yes,
that's correct.
Right.
That's accurate.
Item called a retry clock. A retry clock is an item that activates automatically upon death from Bowser's Inside Story that allows you to retry a battle.
You just finished, though.
You only get 19 of them in the game.
Well, this doesn't
but
matter.
with the gloves.
You get infinite retries.
But that doesn't matter, Liam.
Why doesn't it matter, Sam?
You literally said upon death. The death battle's over upon death, Liam.
No, it isn't.
It's not death battle 2. It's not round 2. There's
many
not
a
rounds.
time if you can come right back to life, the battle is not over.
No, he's
It's
dead.
actually not a death in Mario. It's a KO.
Upon death.
It's a KO. Yeah.
It's a KO.
It's upon death.
It's a KO, and it is not.
Sure,
upon
now
death.
you want to change it.
It's a long established rule, and without spoiling anything, well, no. It's
you can't
a long
talk
established rule. Can't talk about anything. That absolutely does count, and it's a KO, not a death. They wouldn't say that Mario dies.
Okay, still, but I think
but it's like we've always considered that.
Fine.
Like if somebody like can die and immediately come back to life, like we would count that as like a thing,
yeah.
Right? Like, but if there's like, I think it's just like as long as there's like some time before they can come back, then that would count as a death. But if it's just like bam, upon death, this thing activates, yeah, you got to give it to him. But then also, where we're gonna go with that. Then we're gonna go to Link's Fairies because they do the same shit. Like
limited, right? There's a difference here between limited
it's limited
and
by.
limitless.
Okay.
No, they're fighting in a great fairy fountain.
You are banking this entire thing on the glove.
I'm not banking the whole thing. This is the start. We've just entered the fucking battle zone. We have just
much like the gloves grabbing items. My arguments are infinite.
That everything I'm going to bring up, multiply it by infinity. And then ask yourself if Link has the same amount.
Well, I will say, if Mario is using a single item to support this idea that he has an infinite number of anything that you're associating with this, that means is everything in the glove, or is it just anything? How does the glove work specifically?
It's a video game thing. You have an item. You get to
When
pick
you
an item
equip
from your
them.
inventory without
Sure.
lowering the number of items you have in your
Oh,
inventory.
It creates
Right.
a copy as he pulls it out. Okay.
Yes,
exactly.
correct.
So technically, there isn't an infinite number of items. It is based on the number of items he can carry at one time. Those can be infinite.
There are, yeah, that's still infinite. It's just different
Well,
kinds of infinity, right?
But
Like you
he
could
does
have.
need to be.
Yeah, but if we're
carrying
gonna
them.
be nitpicky about like how the glove, like him
Okay.
bringing in the glove,
Okay.
then there is a limited number of items that he can carry, right? Individual items.
Sure, but then
that Mario
Liam's just
can
gonna
carry.
pick the most overpowered like 19 items
And
or
just-
whatever it is.
You
You know
add
what I mean?
all
Like,
of them, right? Like, Link can't carry every single item he's carried in his entire career.
Yeah, he doesn't
We're
need
compositing.
every single item.
It doesn't
yeah,
matter.
yeah.
That's not the rule. The rule is that we're compositing them. He can't carry magic armors from two separate kinds of games, but we're giving that to him because this is the point of the debate. It's a composite,
Well,
right?
No, what I'm saying is, in
Take-
order
take
for the
the-
glove to work, he needs to have a specific inventory.
Let's be
That's
clear.
part of the item,
Let's be clear. Like,
right?
Mario wins with just these 3 items. He can't die because he's invincible. He literally cannot
But
be
Link's
killed.
invincible too.
And he has and one of theirs invincibilities lasts forever, and one of theirs doesn't. Right? So from just this 3 items, Mario wins. But we're not done.
Okay.
We're not fucking done.
Well, just to finish
We're
my
going.
statement,
Okay.
all Link has to do to like cancel a lot of this is just take the glove away, which you can absolutely do.
We want to talk about taking items away. I'm so glad you brought up
Oh,
taking
God.
items away.
Jesus
First
Christ,
of all-
Sam.
Sure.
First of all, okay. If
I
you
do
took
need these shady rays.
Oh my God,
Just
I-
because these goddamn monitors.
If he
are
took his
so
glove
good.
away-
Cosplay Sam.
then the
Yeah.
fight would just restart back to when he had the bottomless gloves with the retry
It's
clock. Because he has
literally
19.
like a flashbang. It's so. Hard.
I'm saying something important, guys. You gotta
Anyways.
listen. Even
I
if
I
you
don't
take
know
the glove
have to.
away-
I can fuck around and listen.
What did I say?
What do you say? A bunch of horse shit. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, I straight up wasn't listening. I was too
Yeah,
happy
yeah,
with
I
the
know
bit.
you would.
No, I'm using my monitor to Google stuff because I'm trying to think if there's
Uh-huh.
ever been an occasion where Mario has been knocked out of his star power.
I don't know. Anyways,
He
actually,
can
no.
still die
Yeah.
He falls
while
down
he's
a
in
cliff.
star power.
If he's squished.
If he falls down a cliff or is squished by Thwomp
Yeah.
or whatever, they'll
Yeah.
still kill. Right? I
Um,
think Thwomp still
yeah.
kill him.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
the swamp kills him.
I think in
Metal
some
Mario
games he kills the
doesn't
Thwomps,
affect
and in
him.
some games,
It
in-
depends.
it-
Anyways,
man.
even if you take the glove away, he'd still have 19 retry clocks because that's the max you can get in the game, which would then restart the battle where he'd have the glove again. So you have to rely on the fact that Link would be,
Yes,
like taking the
but
glove every
It would
single time.
reset the
just,
glove.
Just to be fair,
It resets the fight. It's a time thing.
yes, but if that were
Oh.
to happen, it wouldn't matter because it would almost certainly just happen 19 more times. And
No,
it is
because
resetting the fight, which means Link is back to square one too. Because it's not like in the game
That's
when you
true.
use that Bowser's still at 50% HP when you have a reset clock.
Right.
You were starting that fight over,
We're sort
which
of
means Link's back to it. So this
implying
So they're
doesn't
just
that
in an
Link is gonna
infinity
know
loop?
to steal his
no,
glove.
because he only has 19.
times.
He'll run out eventually. So if Link wins once,
if the-
he'll win 19
No,
times,
if
and
the
you're
fight
just stalling.
restarts, it's infinite because he has
Right.
the glove back.
Right.
So he'd have to steal the
But
glove every single time.
mechanically,
But that's
that
an
means
infinite
the
Link.
clock never happened.
What are you
But-
talking
wait,
about?
no,
the
no,
glove
that-
resets the beginning of the fight where the glove was not stolen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Jesus
so,
Christ.
Okay.
So every time he uses it, it creates a new one.
But-
So he'd only really ever be using one, is what Liam's saying. And so
Yes.
it
you'd
would never
only
run
ever be
out.
Using one
and
by
then
definition.
so even in the scenario that's what we're going to get to, that Link wins, that kicks in, and they're just literally trapped in an infinite time loop, fighting each other and over
Except
and over again
Link's
for the rest of
invincibility
eternity.
isn't limitless. It isn't an eternity. He's gonna run out. But
No, because
can
you're
still keep
resetting
going.
time. Link gets all of his inventory and everything back because it's a
But
time
Link wouldn't-
reset.
Link isn't capable of. You'd have to establish that Link is so dominant above Mario that every single time they fight, he'd win with no matter what, which is not true. And we're gonna get to why. Because we have the copy flower and the double cherries. So the double cherries you can stack up to five clones.
4 swords. Sorry.
Five.
Just to
5
be
hit on 4,
clear,
but
from the
Yeah.
reading of the game, the bottomless glove would not give you an additional use of the retry clock.
why?
It is a list of active battle items, which that's not included in, right?
They're from different games.
Okay. I think you're still fucking with it a little bit.
I'm not at all. If he can do magic armor multiplied by itself, then this works
Wait,
too.
what does active battle item mean?
Well, because there's items that you can only use in battle.
And
Okay.
it only works with those.
Can we move on the
Yeah,
So
conversation?
there are items.
I
Hang
think
on,
we're
hang on,
litigating
hang on,
something
hang
that
on.
I'm
Because this kind of
100%
ties
right
back to
on.
what I was talking about before.
Move away from my weakness.
No.
Get
No,
out.
no. We can stay. Let's keep
Does
going.
that mean that there are items in the game that don't work with the glove?
What?
The game that the
talking
glove,
about?
I got it. The game that the glove is from, are there any items that it can't duplicate? Like, is there like, it only works on like these types of items, but not these? Like,
Show me. Show
Well,
me.
like,
that
for
it
example,
doesn't
like
work with.
a hammer
Show me
or
that.
something.
Motherfucker, you're the one
I have to
arguing
bring
this
an
character.
example
What do you mean
of
show
him
you?
using the
Well,
bottomless
well,
glove on
'cause
every single item. This
No,
is
no,
a
no, no, no.
stalling
That's not what we're
tactic.
saying.
Yes,
No,
it
we're not.
is.
It doubles.
No.
Okay, so here's the thing with the bottomless glove. If you use an item, it doesn't just like make it magically not there unless you are in battle. And there are some items.
You're
most
right.
items
If Link
can only be
slits
used in battle.
Mario's
Yes.
throat in the middle of the night. It's not technically a battle, and it wouldn't count.
No. What I'm saying is, are there certain items in the game that like you just never able to use with it?
Yeah.
Like where theoretically, if Mario's
sure
doing an
if you're
adventure
talking
somewhere
about,
else
like-
and be like, why doesn't he just use this item? Well, I can't because I only have one left. But you still have the bottomless glove,
You
so
know,
theoretically,
I
wouldn't you be
don't-
able to use it to use it?
I can't bring up an
Infinitely.
example of the time it didn't work.
Okay.
That's my answer.
Gotcha.
I can't. I don't know how I'm supposed to generate that without pulling footage from the entire game, right? Like,
No,
Oh,
so,
sure.
so Liam, real quick, because you're in defensive fighting mode, and I'm not attacking you. We're just trying to see
Yeah,
if there's
Because I was
a
gonna eat you.
limit, right? Like for example, there's like 2 pages, right? And page 1 is battle items, and he can
Defensive fighting
infinite any of those. But page 2
Yeah.
has like weapons and hammers and things, and you can't obviously
to my knowledge, that's
infinite
not a
those.
thing.
Gotcha. That's all I'm trying to say is like, was there any items that we know as like a game
Yeah, yeah.
mechanic it doesn't do?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all.
I would have said that if that was the case.
What?
And I'm saying to my knowledge, yeah, okay, fair. To my knowledge, I do not. I have never seen that.
Gotcha.
Never
Cool.
seen that. Don't think it's a thing.
Okay.
But let's move on. Unless you guys want to litigate any other aspect of this, because I think it's okay.
There's just
What
so
if
much.
he's
so
not
mu-
wearing the glove.
What if the
Baby
electricity
Mario?
makes the gloves fall off? Like,
Well,
what if he has to take that glove up to put on the one-up glove, and then he doesn't have the glove? No.
Mike, could you bring up one of the images? I can't open Slack right now, so I can't see what it is, but it's the one of the bunch of Mario and Luigi's. It's the copy flower one. It's the one. It'll be a vertical image because it's a DS thing. So the double cherries multiplies you by 5, which already gives him a
Right.
number advantage against the 4 sword, technically. But this is
Good God.
This is the copy flower. Now there's baby Mario's and Luigi's and baby Luigi's too, but still more numerous than that. And here's the thing. You can't get an accurate number of how many there are because they keep spawning every time that you land a successful hit, and they only stop when you fuck up. So as long as you're talented at the game, the number is, I don't know how fucking high it gets. Higher than 4. Let's say higher than 4.
Okay.
higher than 4, less than 10,000.
But it does the same thing as the copy, as the cherry or whatever. It multiplies them.
Yeah. It multiplies them.
There's
Now
just
the cherry,
not a limit.
I don't know if it, because it's a move. I don't know what if it multiplies their item count, but the double cherry, or what the items they're holding. But the double cherry does multiply their item or copy their items as well. So if you get a cherry and you're 2 fire flower, if you're fire flower Mario, then you both have fire flower.
It copies the item that you have
And you have
access to at
equipped,
the moment, but it
at the very
doesn't.
least.
You don't have to, because in that game you do have an inventory, and it doesn't duplicate the inventory, does it?
I don't think it duplicates the inventory. But if you have a thing, then you both have it.
If it's active, yeah.
If it's active, yes.
Okay.
There's also Cappy.
This is interesting.
All right.
Not true. Link
And-
wears a
and-
hat. You can't possess him.
Well,
You'd have to
I'm not
take
talking
that
about
off.
Link. I'm not talking about Link.
You're not
Because-
talking. Oh, who are you
Because
talking about
I
then?
think that there's, and I'm giving you this one. I think that there's an argument that the Triforce protects you from possession, so it wouldn't work on Link.
I was
do
going to
that.
bring that up, so
You're gonna
thank
bring
you
that
for
one. I
introducing
figured you
that.
were.
I appreciate that.
I have the most simplistic argument for it. I don't know
just
what you're
wanted to
talking
skip
about.
ahead.
So-
But it does work on inanimate objects, and I have a list to make sure, or inanimate and non-sentient objects.
yeah, a taxi.
A taxi, an RC car,
Yeah.
Aren't
a sword.
well,
the items in Mario
Really?
sentient though?
no. My thing here is
The thing
just
that
Orange
it's-
like
poles? Those aren't.
I feel like it's like okay, cool. and now like Link's friend Ganondorf is also here to fight. Like Cappy is a sentient being in and of himself that possesses Mario's cap, and they work together.
So are fairies.
Like that's just a different character.
So are fairies.
Well, but yeah,
I
you
thought we were
fairies
talking
you
about fairies
capture
a
in a
second
bottle.
ago.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
say it makes sense to include Cappy.
Happy doesn't have agency.
Master
in that.
Sword used to be
Yeah.
sentient. The fairies are sentient. Like they're part of the arsenal.
All right, this is dumb, but I
Um,
do want to clarify. He doesn't possess an RC car. He possesses the guy who's controlling, has the remote
that's
for the
true.
RC car.
Yeah, I don't
He
think
possesses
he
a
actually
tree.
can possess inanimate objects.
He can. He
Yeah,
possess.
those orange poles where you launch yourself.
No, those
Does he
are
possess those?
those are sentient. Oh no, the other ones aren't. Sorry, I was
Nope.
thinking
And
about
he can- and
the
he can
weird fork
possess a
people.
spark pylon, the things where you send yourself up as a zap. That's just
Yeah.
electricity.
And when you do possess the taxi,
Oh,
I think
the
it
sparks. Yeah,
the
okay.
taxi I think
No,
does
those
have
sparks are sentient.
No,
They have
because you don't
eyes.
see them. You have eyes when you possess it because your soul is possessing it. But before, there's no electricity with eyes.
Isn't
going
like
on.
everything in the Mario universe sentient? Isn't
No,
that?
no, I checked.
No, so the taxi's a really good example that was really weird because I think it has a driver, but when you throw your hat onto the actual car and then it drives. So it's
You can
like
also do it to boulders too, and trees,
Yeah.
which are alive but they're not sentient, and cacti.
I don't
Or at
remember
least a cactus.
possessing.
the cactus has always been alive in Mario. It's always had a face.
Well, no, I don't think the cactus in the red desert, in the sand desert, isn't it
Is
called
it
like
not?
I don't know.
sand desert?
It
It's
might
like the
not.
dumbest
Anyway.
fucking name ever.
So okay.
Right.
What are you?
Yeah.
How is this being applied
Possess?
to the fight?
Possess the master
What is he
sword,
possessing?
Kill Link. Possess
Okay.
any of his items.
If Link has a resistance to possession because of the Triforce and whatnot, which is godly, is directly tied to Hylia, the Master Sword has to as well. It is directly tied to
Possess
Hylia.
his shield. Possess any of the items that he has. Because here's the thing. Link's items counter a lot of Mario's arsenal, right? But those
Mhm.
items, unlike Mario's, because of the bottomless glove, are not infinite. If Mario breaks them, which if this is going to be a long drawn out fight, which it looks like it will be if it's taken to its logical extreme, then they're going to get damaged. Maybe not the Hylian shield because it's impenetrable or whatever, but like,
There are certain
the
items that
bow.
will, yes. I do think Link has enough in his arsenal to basically turn a lot of Mario's arsenal against him that will put pressure on Mario long enough for Link to get that one hit in that he needs to and continue doing it. Especially if we're including Fierce Deity. Fierce Deity is going to get those hits on Mario. No problem. The Mirror Shield is going to reflect a lot of Mario's attacks right back at him. So Mario just won't be able to use a lot of his more like projectile and elemental.
Mario can reflect stuff too with the hammer. He can reflect. He can.
Well, then we're
reflect
gonna have like a
magic
tennis
stuff.
match.
Yeah,
and
have
Link
a
is
par-
very used to that.
He's
He knows
very
how to
good
do
at that.
Oh,
He can
but
do it with
here's-
a bottle.
I'm so glad you
I
brought up
mean-
tennis. I'm so glad you brought up tennis.
Mario
God,
in
yeah,
Mario
you're
Tennis,
tennis,
there's
yeah.
an ability called what the fuck is it called? Hang on. In Mario Tennis, Zone Speed, which speeds up your perception of time to give you an advantage. Mario.
Well, it's a
would
good
beat
thing Link has an ability called Z targeting, which is automatically like targets any
Good
object
thing
that's
Mario
coming at him.
Has
Alright,
an item
hey.
called the stopwatch, which freezes time.
Well,
Hey,
good
not
thing
just
Link
for an
has
item.
a stasis, which freezes not time,
All of
but a
time.
person, which
Yeah,
means
yeah.
time still applies to
All
them,
of
which means
time.
they can still
Hey.
do stuff to them.
Before we get into that, I think we need to take a moment, just to calm down for our mental health, right, Ben?
I guess. Hang on. I guess
Come on,
maybe
kill
I'm getting a
these
little too
segues today.
heated. Let me calm myself down a little bit by talking about our second sponsor, BetterHelp. Thank you, Chad.
Got you.
This show is brought to you by BetterHelp. Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing, just like Link finding ways to beat Mario in a fight. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk through things, just like we do when we're talking about how Link can beat Mario in a fight. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. It's helpful for learning positive coping skills, how to set boundaries, and how to be the best version of yourself. And this sort of thing isn't just for people who have experienced major trauma or anything like that. You don't need to earn therapy. This is something that I've kind of run into myself, is just feeling whether or not you should go, right? Or if you deserve to go, which is not something that you need to think. Anyone can benefit from simply being heard. So if you've ever thought about giving it a shot or just haven't been able to work up the courage to try it for yourself, BetterHelp can be a great first step towards finding your best self. So discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/cast today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/cast. Thank you, BetterHelp. All right, let's get back to how Mario is going to need some help
Apparently,
win
it's like
this.
my rant just now. I said the phrase, "Let's be clear, I'm right," which is a statement I agree with.
Wait, did you say that but didn't realize that you said that?
What?
That is so you. Like, I feel like if there's a quote that goes down here, it's like, how would you describe what's Liam's catchphrase? Like, Liam Swan, let's be clear, I'm right.
I'm right.
Yep.
Sometimes it's easy to just cut right through it and go.
You did it earlier too. You're like, come on, let's just talk about the real thing here. Mario wins, right? You like.
All right. I think this is really fascinating. I do think we may have focused a little too much on the invincibility aspect of this, because at the end of the day, I feel like at some point those are going to drop for both characters, and because they don't necessarily even each other out, but both of them have limits. I understand that he's got a glove that gives him limitless items, but those items do have limits in and of themselves, time limits. So there are limits that are applicable
but then
to
the
all these
retry
things.
clock is like for that one little instance that Link might get a lucky hit at that exact moment.
I do think if we're gonna go by what the games say, the retry clock doesn't work.
Why doesn't it work, Sam?
Because the item description is if both Mario and Luigi are to fall in battle. I think Luigi's just fine, unless he also died in some weird way happenstance at the same time.
Yeah, that's because both Mario and Luigi are fighting. Because when one of them dies, the other one can keep fighting.
Hang on a second.
Nice
That's an
attempt at
interesting find.
I bet you think it is, Ben, but no, it's
I
not.
bet you think it is, but no.
Wow, okay.
Oh my god, it is arguments.
Hang on, I'm getting the poll ready.
Let's talk about getting the lucky hit. How does Link break through a time stop?
How does Link break through a time stop?
How does he deal with it, right? Because what stops Mario from using in like one of his infinite, literally stopwatches, stopping time and killing Link?
Nothing, but that also applies to the stasis.
But the stasis only
Link.
applies to Mario and has to be aimed, whereas the stopwatch can just be like activated like any other item.
Yeah,
and it stops
Z target automatically targets them, as we were talking about game mechanics before. They both have ways to stop each other. So,
but Mario's is better, and it doesn't rely on the tablet, because the tablet, if it's damaged, it's not. He can't do it anymore.
I mean, if it's in the glove or the glove is associated, then if the glove is damaged, then you can't do it anymore either. So we have the same situation here.
No, I don't think we have the same situation.
There is one thing I haven't actually talked about as well. So I know some people are talking about the Ocarina of Time. I'm not really talking about that because I don't think Link is going to have time to bust out a song in the middle of the fight. I mean,
he's just running.
I guess he can run and do it, or stasis him and then do it. But if he's still going to stasis him, why not just cut him in half?
To that too.
But theoretically, I guess the Ocarina of Time could find a way around
maybe
time limits and things like that. I don't know. But I also wanted to point out before we get to the final poll and whatnot, experience. These characters experience fighting things and what they've done over the course of their lives and whatnot. I think Link is going to have a lot more experience just overall because he's lived multiple lifetimes, whereas Mario is just a single person. But also, in one of those lifetimes, Link fought Mario's enemies. He's fought the
Goombas. Oh fuck me, you got me now.
But he is familiar with the types of enemies and the like powers and stuff that Mario experiences, and Mario has never been associated in any way with like a Zelda world or whatnot. So Link is going to be able to understand what Mario is bringing to the fight much quicker than what Mario is going to be able to how Mario is going to be able to gauge Link's abilities, which I think will give him a brief little advantage at the beginning that will help him get those lucky shots in that he needs in order to get around stuff like the stupid glove and whatnot.
So real quick,
There's no
the
getting
poll.
around it.
I did a poll that says, does Luigi also need to die to use the clock? And it was close, but 53% say yes, Luigi must die. Now, here's the only other thing. So that
No.
I might toss out there. If we were going to actually start the fight with these two, we would probably start it by Link killing Luigi. So,
No, the game
so
is
he
Mario
might
Luigi.
be dead.
That's why. It's a gameplay thing. It has nothing. It's an item, right? It has nothing to do with like its canonical use. Like both Mario and Luigi are tied by fate and the laws of reality to this one item, and only upon Luigi's death can the curse be foretold and Mario is allowed to retry. That's not what it's talking about.
Unless it has appeared in another game that doesn't have that like requirement to it.
I
You
also
can't
feel
say
like
it doesn't.
It's just so like video game mechanically strange. It's like if in one of the games Link died and the fairy was like, "Get back up, Link," instead of it just literally saying game over, it was like, "You can go again." It's like, oh well, canonically he just can go again. Like, it's
talking
like,
about?
I don't know.
It's actually just like that, except instead of healing him, it's restarting time. Which is actually, you could argue, is a great advantage to Link because it heals Link and it replenishes Link as well, because it's a time thing. But that's all it is. Now, one last thing. I mean, okay, we can talk about experience. Hang on, I wrote down notes for this.
I would just like to imagine the clockmaker was like, and I've tied it to these two souls.
Yeah, these two, like
which I mean,
Luigi
to be
has like a
fair,
heart
I know
attack at home, and
asterisks.
it's like Mario sheds a single tear because he knows when the retry clock activates because he knows his brother has died.
Brother's dead.
Okay, so in terms of martial arts, in Mario RPG, I think this is what it is. I just looked at the image of the character and I was like, that looks like what that's from. He's defeated Jinx and the Master, who are both martial arts masters, were declared the strongest fighter, and they declared him the strongest fighter in their dojo and incorporated his fighting style into theirs. So he has actual feats against actual martial arts masters. Even compositing all of Link's experience into one, Mario has more games. We don't know, aside from, arguably Ocarina / Majora's Link, because we know that he becomes a Stalfos, but even then, we don't know how much of Link's career extended beyond the games that he's in. Whereas with so if you take all of the games, all the stuff they've done that we know that they've done together, Mario's done more. He actually has more experience. I don't think experience is going to matter very much. They're both at a certain level, it bottoms out. Like I don't see how one could get the advantage over the other. But I also want to bring up the counter to the Ocarina, because you know who can time travel without any item whatsoever, like he did at the end of Yoshi's Island DS? Mario, baby! Mario has been in disguise for Yoshi's Island DS, and at the end, he has like a little pipe thing, and he hops out, and then he jumps, and then just in a ball of light disappears and goes back to his normal time.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. It's crazy.
But
I have a question.
I did want to bring up something though real quick that Adam Pirate in the chat did mention.
Yeah.
Adam says when you play the Ocarina, battle pauses. Now,
sure,
game mechanic, I guess. You know, when you
but
bring
it
out
is
the
tied to
Ocarina,
time.
well, and you bring out the Ocarina, it does cause everything around you to pause until you play the song. Maybe there is an argument to be made, though, that once you do play the song, it then gets out of that, right? That mode, and then Link starts playing the song, and everything around him is still like frozen. And he does complete the song, and then time resumes, which to me implies he is playing the song at like light speed.
FTL, Link is playing the Ocarina at greater than FTL speeds.
Isn't it more likely that it just creates like it literally stops time once it's pulled out? Because like
Saria's
we know it manipulates time. Saria. Saria. I always call it Saria.
I'm pretty sure it's Saria.
There's only one R. Come on. That also does the whole time stop and whatnot. Although I guess it does do magic anyway. So just Ocarinas and Zelda are all magical, I guess.
Mario puts Link to sleep with the Sleepy Sheep item.
I have a thing
all
about
instruments
the
in Zelda are magical.
That's
there's so many
argument
magical
I've heard so
turns
far.
invisible with the invisibility cap. It's gonna go down
Sorry,
the
what was
list.
the one that I missed?
Invisibility
Great
cap
force
wouldn't
fields.
matter. The sleepy sheep putting Link asleep is a funny play. I
That's
think
a funny
that
thing.
would
I-
actually
I-
probably
especially
work.
since
have
so
Peach
much-
fight Zelda and kill Zelda that way. That'd be
Since so much
Oh,
of
wait.
this argument has been about these fucking gloves, like, you know, like I have a question: Can
Yeah,
Link
'cause they're
fuse his
busted.
gloves together?
Oh, use the fuse mechanic.
Like,
For a
I mean,
game
wouldn't it
that
make it
hasn't
like a
even come
super
out yet.
glove though?
How
Like-
desperate.
The fuse technique looks like it's meant to make things better, so I don't think you would try to use it on him. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to these votes. But we're gonna get the poll up in the chat. But let's go ahead and start this with some answers from you guys from our community page. So let's go ahead and get the first community answer up on Link versus Mario.
From Vissel Plays, rooting for Link, but Mario takes this. His power-ups are insanely OP. All right.
Fuck yeah. Would have given it a little more detail, but I agree with that statement. It's true.
All right, that's this one.
Good thesis
We got
statement.
one more. Let's go ahead and bring up the other answer.
From Jello, with the latest Tears of the Kingdom gameplay, Link is now a living VCR. He can just rewind Mario to run out of the time on any of his power-ups. That's interesting.
Want him to run out the time?
Oh,
So before
yeah.
he used it.
I guess if we're including the new games, he does have
Yes,
that
the
recall
recall.
move.
So any
Yeah,
item
yeah.
with history
Rewind.
can send
so,
it back.
so Mario, he hits Mario, right? Fierce Deity overpowers Mario, hits him. The recall, what is it called? The
It's called
try
recall.
clock. The
Retry
retry clock activates, and then
Yeah.
he recalls that so it goes back.
So it goes
Uh,
back to regular time.
But then
That
it would
sounds-
go back, but then it would continue. I don't know how that would actually
It would
work.
accelerate Mario into infinity, and he would see,
think it would
all of
break
his
the
lives
fight.
all at once.
Well, like,
The universe
does it?
would bend around Mario's.
What if
journey.
it? Well, unless it recalls, because it recalls an object's personal history, right? Like this rock used to be
Yes.
attached to this
The
building, and then
movement
it
of an
fell off,
object is what
right?
it
And so then it
does.
went back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it just movement of an object, or is it the own thing's like history? Because
Is
like,
it Crazy Diamond?
well, it's like
That's
if he
a good
held
one.
it, yeah.
Benjamin Button him to
Right.
death.
Well, it's like, can he, if you were to like use it on the clock since before, and it eventually becomes the parts that it was made of. Like, does it work like
I
that?
don't think
or-
that's how it's
That's-
gonna work. I mean,
that's
this
the
is a game
character
that's not
from
out yet.
JoJo.
We don't know.
Yeah, that's
but
No.
but it looks like it just rewinds
Did I mention
its
JoJo?
own personal
Tell me I
time.
like
Is
it.
kind of what they seem to imply.
Oh,
Yeah.
Minish Cap. Sorry, that didn't even get brought up.
Makes him tiny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
that makes some time. I don't know if that would actually help. Very
Aaron
much.
the Carrot said Lynx uses the
the
Minish
Mega
Cap to pull an
Mushroom.
Ant-Man. So, like,
I guess he could try to do that.
Mario would then
Yeah,
eat
just-
the Mega Mushroom to expand his butthole wide enough that Link would no longer be able to affect
oh,
it. You were the one that brought it up. No. You brought it up.
He
You
just brought up
You brought it up.
Ant-Man.
I
They
read
don't
it
go
from
hand
the
in
chat.
hand.
Yeah, that's worse because now you've made me say it in my head.
I read
It's
that from the chat.
No, I hate
You
that.
didn't.
I hate
Nobody
that.
implied the
Made everybody
Thanos.
else think of
strategy.
Link squeezing his head into Mario's asshole in their
Thanos
head.
No,
And you want to
stop.
pretend that you have no responsibility over that, and you do. So I drop that. Drop that at the mall.
Well, I
and
never
say
even
bye-bye.
said anything
What
about
is
Ant-Man.
happening? All
You know,
right,
why
I-
blame me?
I am voting against Liam for that specific reason.
Okay. Look,
I just
all
thought
right.
it would be
We've
funny,
we've had
It's disgusting.
we've had a very interesting discussion where clearly we don't know what the hell we're talking about. So let's go ahead and get to these votes. So let's go ahead and start with the community page poll that you guys voted on before the show. Let's go ahead and bring that up and get our first vote in. It is Mario with 67% of the
Two-thirds,
first
exactly.
vote.
Wow.
Yep. 2/3 of the vote. Okay, so Mario gets the first vote. Chad, who are you voting for?
Y'all, this has been a ride. This has been an absolute
Yeah, a bit,
ride. Most scenarios in my mind lead to this horrific time loop of them being locked in eternal battle. We've had some really hard decisions lately. Sorry, I'm gonna say Link.
Dude, I can't even begin.
All right,
I can't even begin with
sticking
this.
to his word. Okay, one
Ab-
vote for Link.
Bonkers.
Sam,
Is that bonkers?
who are you voting for?
I do kind of think there's a world where this is just like it never finishes.
Mhm.
But if somebody's gonna win, it probably is Mario, just because the powers are like simpler and just like, oh yeah, you got your Starman now. Enjoy. Like
All of Link's weapons are pokey though. Like
yeah,
Oh, right. I forgot to mention, I consulted with one of our researchers before the episode began, and he told
Talk to
me,
Shigeru Miyamoto.
hey,
Yeah.
swords are sharp.
yeah.
That's
I talked
that's
to-
the winning argument.
That's true.
I talked to Shigeru Miyamoto before this, and he said that Mario wins.
Swords aren't sharp.
Yeah, he said the swords aren't sharp. Yeah,
I mean,
Wow.
piercing weapons.
brilliant.
Just look at Wonder Woman.
it's true.
I will say, I see a lot of people in chat right now bringing up all these other different like items and weapons
Yeah.
and whatnot that the characters have.
Yeah.
There's so much more to this discussion than just like
Link can resist
how many
transmutation, which is why I
infinite
bring up
clocks
the
can
gold
Mario
coins.
pull out of his ass? Like, there's so many more things to talk about than that we can't talk about in just an hour. So I love this idea. I think this has been super fun. And I definitely want to do more equal stats matchups in the future. Not every single time. I am curious what you guys think would make for good equal stats debates. In
Yeah, let
future
us know in the
Deathball casts.
comments.
Yes. But let's go ahead and get, we're going to end the poll to get your guys's final vote in. We currently have one Link and two Mario
Mario.
votes. Yes.
One Link, two
so
Mario.
this will
Sounds
decide
like
it. And poll is ended. Well, okay. You know, I got a few more votes in, but Mario wins the live poll with 59% of the vote, which means Mario has 3 votes to Link's 1, and Mario wins.
It's a good moment.
I
Yeah.
don't feel good
This is
about
like-
even voting on the winning side. I
It's
will
like,
say,
it's like 3 in a row, William.
well, we do have
Sorry.
a minute, and hopefully there's still some of those members that recently got gifted a membership in the chat. If you like this and you want to see Liam be petty more,
Heel.
go watch some of our ballad banters where he also does this for matchups y'all suggested.
You do it too.
It's on the membership page.
Yeah, it's on the membership page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe I'm in a couple that are upcoming as well. And also,
Oh, yeah.
there's
Yeah,
a
week or two out,
so
probably.
Chad and I have been recording revisiteds. I say that as if you should know what it is. Recording basically commentaries and reactions to all of our old episodes. And we just released our reaction to the original Goku versus Superman, which is very long. It's over 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
But it's one of the first times I think in a while that we've ever like just sat down and talked about that episode, and there's so much to talk about, like good and bad. So that's out for members right now. You can go check that out. It's a wild episode to revisit so much longer after. It's been over a decade since
Yeah,
we
we're
released
like,
it.
oh, this will be
Wow.
fine to talk about. We got 30 minutes, and then we went a little over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we thought we'd have a hard time like filling out that time, but there was so much more to talk about. I don't even think I think we had a lot more we wanted to talk about, but you know, we'll save that for some other time probably. Or hell, Goku vs Superman 2 is coming up as well on our run, right? So we are going through every single episode. So eventually we're going to talk about Goku vs Superman 2 as well. And I'm sure we'll talk about more about all the stories regarding that episode and that nightmare. But yeah, all right. Well, that was fun.
I had, honestly, guys, I had a blast. This was a great
I had
episode.
fun. That was fun. I like getting into it. It's funny when I get.
Yeah. I guess so.
And I mic dropped those segues, so I'm happy. No, just
Yeah,
kidding.
there we go. There we go.
And you know it's not hard feelings. We're just playing around.
Are
Just
we?
screaming and
This
yelling.
is serious, Liam. Come on.
Right, it is. Which means
This is a serious topic. No, thank you all so much for joining us for another Death Metal cast. Again, let us know what you think and what matchups you want us to talk about in the future regarding equal stats, or if you just hate it.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Yeah.
You
okay
tell
with
us
any
that too.
feedback on this one.
This definitely
Yeah.
makes it more interesting, right? Because I'd just be like, Mario physical feat, Mario speed feat, he wins. You know, it's stupid. This is better.
True. Well,
That was great.
again, it depends on the matchup, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you guys so much. As always, be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be awesome, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.